Welcome to The Roofer Show with your host, Dave Sullivan. You found the podcast that helps roofing contractors grow their businesses, make more money, and have more free time.
Chris, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hey, John.
We got the whole crew here. So looking forward to this. Chris, we've never met, so I'm really interested in hearing about your story. Why don't you give us a quick update on what you do and who you do it for and what's in it for our contractors?
Likewise, real excited about this. Thanks for having me. First off, I'm going to apologize ahead of time if I do this whole coughing thing. Obviously, something's in the air and we're all kind of coughing and lunging it up. So sorry if I seem out of breath. I promise you I'm okay and you can't get this through the computer. So my name's Chris Scoville, everyone. Great to be here. I've been in the trades for a really long time. Consider myself an official dinosaur, specializing in home improvement financing for contractors. That's what I've done for like 26 years. Started in the industry in Western New York, believe it or not, up in cold country in between Buffalo and Rochester. 1987, did a custom home with my father, Roscoe Construction. So I learned early on in life how to swing a hammer. 91-ish, I was down in South Florida doing tie beams and roofs and playing Camus, they call them pugs down here, St. Lucie West. And then 93, I smartened up and got into financing. So to cut all those years out of it, I'm 52 now. So yeah, 93, 2023, I've been doing this a while. I help contractors with financing at the point of sale in residential. I do have some commercial things as well outside some of the specific states. Majority of my day is devoted to spreading education and support to contractors to help them get financing for their consumers at the point of sale.
All right. Well, as I said before, I was a commercial contractor out here in California for 30 years. So I don't really know much about financing for contractors, but I know John's an expert. So he can do most of the talking here and he's familiar with it and uses it every day. So John, tell me a little about what you're doing with financing and then we'll get into it.
So I wouldn't call myself an expert. Trying to become an expert, trying to become educated from Chris and other people in the industry about financing, the financing process. This is our 8th year in business in Georgia, and we have done more financing in 2023 than we've done in the past 7 years combined. So it's definitely a market need. And so we need to become an expert. Before this call, I actually was on the phone with my team actually discussing this exact issue. Thinking about the end of Q4 of this year and then all of 2024, thinking about how to position ourselves and talking about specific customers and some victories, some failures, and why we maybe could have positioned ourselves differently, and just showing that we offer financing. We had the whole discussion, Chris, where we're like, you'll go buy a new King Ranch F-150 for $85,000, and you're okay paying a $1,500 payment for that.
Yeah.
But you won't spend $400 a month on something that you actually need. And it's a wild thing. And so my other owner, Cameron, is in the Northeast Georgia, the Athens market. He's really good with money. Yeah. He's just a really very intelligent money saver. He doesn't finance things. So it's really hard. I have to educate him like, hey, you're in like the 3 percentile. Like nobody does what you do. So we have to, bridge that gap of like, you don't do what the majority of consumers do with all of their life. Like credit card debt. He's like, I have a $50,000 credit limit on my credit cards. I never use it ever. Like he's, excellent credit, all that kind of stuff. And he understands using other people's money. I like what you said in a recent talk, Chris, about like, do you want to use my money or your money? Like which one is like, essentially that's what it is. So we're trying to get better. We're trying to get better at positioning ourselves. I'm excited to hear your positioning and share to our listeners. You have a lot of good zingers that are actually have a lot of meat behind them that are really helpful for like a sales process.
Yeah.
And to help contractors understand like this is how you can position yourself and this is why you say this and this is why you do this. And it's how, it helps people actually make the sale and help the homeowner make the right decision is not go with a chuck in a truck, but go with a really professional contractor. And this is how you do it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is this, there's a few things we could talk about, right? How we got here, right? Well, people need affordable payment options because of what's happening in the finance world. So that's number one. Number two, who are we and who are our consumers? So if a contractor's never offered a finance solution or a payment option at the point of sale, they don't need to become a financier. They don't need to be somebody that understands banking and interest rates. All they simply need to do, as I said from stage last week, is this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the roof's $10,000. Would you prefer to pay us by cash or check or insurance? Or would $114 per month be good? Like, would you like to use your money or would you like to use ours? And then the simplicity of saying, we've got a lender over here that does a soft credit pull where I can get you approved in 15 seconds. And we can see what the options are available to make this really easy for you and painless and frictionless, right? So if each and every time a home improvement contractor, a roofer, a general contractor, or a modeler, it doesn't matter what it is, whoever's watching to this, by the way, we can finance everything that goes in and on or around it. Positioning a payment option each and every time. A promotional payment, promotion means a promotional period of time, like 12 months, same as cash, no interest, no payments. You may be familiar with this on the Ashley Furniture ads that you see online or on TV, or when you go into a Best Buy and you see a big yellow sign, if Best Buy is even still in business, it says 36 months, no interest, right? That is promotional. And promotion means for X period of time, a consumer can take advantage of something like no interest, no payments, or deferred interest, or equal payments to buy the thing that you sell. So that's promotion. The other one is low monthly payment option with no prepayment penalty. So if each and every time I position myself as the nice guy, the contractor that builds roofs, and I'm not a banker, to say, hey, it's $10,000. You love us. We're going to do business. You need this thing. Do you want to use your money or would you prefer to use ours? They're going to go, what do you mean? And you go, we've got a lender. They can provide financing to make this super easy for you to pay this over a period of time. How would you like to proceed? It's a soft credit pull. And then from there, John, it's as simple as taking a simple credit app with no social security. The approval comes to them in 15 seconds. They get excited because they're like, wow, it's only $114 for $10,000. Let's do upgrades. Let's add gutters. Let's do the super duper insulation R88 factor, right? Like that's when they get excited and go, what do you mean? It's only 114. We wanted to spend 250, right? Like that's when they get excited and start upselling. And then you get excited because you're like, okay, let's do some hardy siding, right? Like this financing thing will help them leverage. But I wanted to get back to a certain point that you made there. Your partner, which is brilliant, right? Brilliant guys like your partner with money are the guys that are our customers. So let me talk about that for a sec. You get this great pushback. We don't need financing. All of our customers pay cash. Sure they do. If they take in a credit card, they're financing, okay? Your customers that are saying that they're only paying cash is because you're not presenting a finance offer. And all my customers are so rich they don't need financing are the ones that actually have financed everything in their life. They're just broke on a higher level, right? So, and this statistic's going to be crazy for you to think about. The average FICO nationally in the home improvement lending space is 767. A FICO is Fair Isaac credit, right? That's your credit score. The average is 767. So the contractors that are out there driving around going, BMW, Range Rover, they're never going to finance, are completely wrong. Those are the ones that will leverage money on a promotional finance option or low monthly payment option because they know how to use OPM, other people's money. Whereas the folks that look like they may have challenged credit and want to finance may have cash saved up. So here's the good news at the end of the day. Offer it to everybody, always, early, and often. And let the customer decide. They hand you an insurance check. Cool. Thanks for the insurance check. They hand you cash. Great. Check. Fantastic. Credit card. Great. As long as you build the 3.5% dealer fee in, right? They want financing. Super. Present the options. It'll never hurt, right? So anyway, that's kind of soapboxing Scoville from the stage. It's when we get over this hurdle with contractors and they realize it's that easy, that's when it gets really fun. And then we get to train your sales pros, right? The ones that have been doing it the way they've been doing it for years, and they don't need to do it any other way. Those are my specialty. I love working with the guys when you show up and I've been doing trainings for years. You show up and you got the guy up in the front and he's got his arms like this. He's like, this is bull, right? Once you break that guy down and you teach him how to offer financing solutions, man, it's game over. He's going to help so many people. So,
well, I've got a few questions for you guys. John, you mentioned that you've never sold so much financing before. Why is that this year was unusual, and what do you see going into the future?
So we've always offered financing multiple ways. So you have to, on Chris's point that he's made a lot, is you have to offer it and often. I didn't get the exact saying right, but it's true. So like it's in our pre-qualification questions. How do you plan on paying for this? And they may not know, but they can at least say we're interested in financing. That may be an option what we do. Then when we do everything leading up to the actual sales, the inspection part, they're getting asked the question again. And then again, after the proposal and during the presentation, if we see them in real life. A lot of our customers we don't see in real life. We don't do the kitchen table. We don't meet them there. We've had a lot of success selling jobs, never meeting the customer. 5-star review, high profit margin. That's a lot of our success. So we just incorporated an easy process, and we have to make it really, really easy sending via text and email the credit app. We have to make it easy for them. It's usually going to be a text. They're usually going to click the text and then you're like, okay, great. It's easy. That's probably one of the reasons why. The other reason is the economy is rough. And so we do a lot of high-end roofs, but we also do middle, low income housing as well. We're not going to discriminate on that. We don't have a specific ideal customer income level, but it's all across the board. It's exactly the description you just said, Chris. It's like it doesn't really matter. A lot of people are financing it. It doesn't matter what they look like and what their home looks like. They're just financing a lot more now.
The economy doesn't discriminate.
Yep, that's right.
We're financing our gasoline. We're financing our groceries. We're financing electric toothbrushes from Amazon with 40.
Yeah, you made that joke. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's true, right? Like everywhere we go. And to your point, the real exciting thing is finally, like the new buyers to your technology way of selling is unbelievable, because the new buyers are accustomed to getting pre-qualified and getting approved first, and then calling and saying, hey, we want a construction bid. Like, what? It's a complete flip-flop of how it was. Geez, even 5 to 7 years ago, you had to be face-to-face. You had to do the 10-step program. You had to do I'm not going to name all the different systems out there, gain the trust, go through the report, the hard close. Like, now it's like, hey, we've got financing, it's a soft credit pull. I'm going to get you pre-approved, and Johnny boy will be over there tomorrow with, to check out your house. Wait a minute, what?
Yeah, or not. We many times we don't even go to the house. So like the customers they're so accustomed to having a buy a Tesla online experience that they don't even want to see. They don't want to come in their gated community. It's a hassle for them. They gotta buzz you in. They gotta buzz in 3 contractors. Even if they don't live in a gated community, they don't want to take time out of their day. I don't care if they work from home. They don't want to talk to 3 different random dudes and random trucks about the roof and hear the same story every time and get pressured into sales every time. They want to make a decision based on online reviews, on professionalism on their website, on the ease of payment. I've always said that, even before we got into financing, make it easy for your customer to pay you. If you don't do that, you're going to lose. Yeah. And now it's even another step further, make it even easier with financing. So I've always said, we're a marketing company that happens to roof. We're not even a sales organization. We're a marketing company that happens to roof. Now I really am going to shift, and I've been shifting. We're going to rebrand to a new name in the next 90 days, but we're going to be a marketing and financing company that happens to roof. That's really what we're going to be doing. Moving forward, it's not going to get any more affordable to buy roofs, and the economy is not just going to bounce back overnight. Even if it did, the cost to buy a roof now, I mean, you said $10,000, and that's funny to me because we did a $12,000 roof the other day and I wanted to throw up. It was so cheap. Like our average roof is something like just shy of 20 grand, 19,432 or something like that.
24 a month.
Yep. And so nobody has the money saved up, and they probably shouldn't take out 20 grand to replace their roof. They should use other people's money to do so. They should pay it off, keep their finances safer, as opposed to just taking out of savings, and obviously not 401k and IRA stuff. Just they should use other people's money to do something that they actually need and not buy the $95,000 truck. Like that's the truth of it, is that they need to take care of their home and make sure that their monthly expenses are not overwhelmed because there's no savings anymore.
Indeed.
Well, I think what you said about the pre-qualification process, because we just pound on this with our coaching clients, is having that script, having those questions laid out when you have that first contact. So you're actually asking them, how do you plan to pay for the roof, which is just one more question that you're asking to get information before you go out there. And that's a great one. And it also plants that seed that there are options, perhaps. Is that something you see?
Can I speak to this, John?
Yeah.
Please.
Check this technology out, my friend. Dave, we don't even need to ask. If John's got a list of appointments and leads, however, his marketing company, right? He's brilliant. He's great at this. He's got a CRM. He's got a CSV file. We have the technology. We got the technology to take the name and the address, put it into our system, underwrite it with a soft credit pull, and deliver a report back to John to say who's pre-approved and who's not. We don't need to ask. We can tell them a proactive statement saying,
what do you call it? Know before you go? Is that what it's?
Oh, yeah, know before you go. And we're not asking social. It's a soft credit pull. We've got a relationship with the credit depository. They've got our algorithm and our underwriting guidelines built in there. We do over 15 million of these a year through our company. And now it's a great way to market proactively, excite your customers about the fact that they already are pre-qualified. But then I have to take the backside, old school. There's new school technology, Scoville that loves it for the marketing aspect and the, wow, you could do a million different things with this. John's head spinning right now. If Mr. Smith doesn't get approved, the neat thing with us is that his wife can apply with her great credit, because John doesn't have great credit. He's got challenge credit, but she's got great credit. We can use the combined household income to get him approved. So to me, a no really isn't a no until you've actually had the conversation.
Makes sense.
It's just, there's so many different things that you can use with the new financing options out there to market proactively, get them excited, get into communities that you can't door knock on if you're still door knock. Like, so proactive. We get the stuff. I probably have some sitting around here in the mail. Congratulations, you're approved to $37,500 worth of business credit. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't apply for anything. Same technology is applied to us, except we run it through our underwriting guidelines for our home improvement lending.
Yep, makes sense.
So when we talk about, hey, you got to get set up on financing, we get a lot of pushback, just for all kinds of reasons. What do you see, Chris, as far as, you've got a lot of $3, $4, $5 million businesses that don't offer financing, don't understand it, don't see the need for it, but something that we see all the time is, one, the economy is certainly changing. So you're going to be in a more competitive situation, fewer deals perhaps, but also you're getting that shock factor, where sticker shock, where people, unless you do your homework up front, like we always talk about with Roofle or whatever it is, having some idea what it's going to cost. I mean, these guys are just like, can't believe it with the cost increases lately. So I think it's something that everybody's got to have, and you've got to offer it. What do you see as reasons for contractors pushing back on that and say, I don't need financing? You mentioned, oh yeah, I've been doing it this way forever, why change now?
Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So I think there's a few things. The air conditioning industry has been doing this forever. Wells Fargo, CMEG, we can go back to the days of the $39 a month for a new air conditioner, right? So I think the slow adoption to roofing and remodeling has happened. It's now here where you've got some of the old school and the new school. New school guys are like, I want financing. I opened up 2 months ago, right? They're ready to go because they understand and get it. I think we've got new school, old school, but it's changing. The pushback that I think has happened is and I don't say ignorance ever in a negative way. I say ignorance that nobody's educated them properly. They haven't had a call with Scoville yet. They just think that it's going to cost them money. They think that it's going to be hard for them to do. They think that they're going to lose because they're offering. Maybe they have used a broker before that charged them an exorbitant amount of money to use a broker platform that wasn't offering a real retail installment contract loan, but was offering a personal loan through all these different lenders. Like there's some businesses out there that are calling themselves home improvement lenders and they're not. And maybe they had a negative experience with them. And now and this happens a lot. When I talk to contractors and say, hey, are you using financing? No. Well, I have used X, Y, and Z, and I will never talk poorly about anybody online. So we're not going to name who they are. I used X, Y, and Z. It was horrible. The interest rates are 30%. They charge me $5,000 a year. And I immediately know who it is. So then I have to educate. And once I'm done educating them on what our relationship is like, they get it and they enroll and we train them and we coddle them and we build a partnership. And I'm all about margin integrity and protecting their mortgage. And I'm all about the partnership and their P&L and taking care of their customers and training their sales reps. So bringing a finance partner in, whether it's me or somebody else, a competitor, do it because we're here to protect your business and help it grow and help your salespeople and help you sell more. Ultimately, the most important part is help the consumers buy what they need with an affordable payment option so they can get the thing taken care of that they get taken. So the pushback comes from many, many different ways. But let's talk about the real big elephant in the room. Contractors that don't come from the financing space or air conditioning space know that money, they call it a dealer fee, merchant fee, dealer fee, because money costs money. So the misconception in the industry is this: I don't want to offer your financing. It's my customer. You should pay me because I'm bringing them to you and you're the bank and you're making money. Why the heck should I have to pay dealer fees for your money? Well, here's how it really works. And I'll make this really simple. Money costs money. It comes from Wall Street and the feds. And then it goes out to a lender. And then there's a margin on that somebody has to pay for going over there. Then the lender's got to get it over to you. And then you got to get it over to the customer. Then this thing's got to get built. And then the money's got to come back to the contractor. Then the money's got to come back to the lender. Then the lender's got to get that bundled up, sell back to Wall Street, the Fed someday. So all those people have to get paid to be in business, which, with all due respect, we all deserve to be in business because at the end of the day, we're helping the customer. So we can all agree on it. Dealer fees aren't dealer fees. Dealer fees are the cost of doing business built within the price of the product of the thing that you sell. Now, let me break this down. The supply house every quarter sends you an increase. Sorry, costs are going up. It's 5%. And you as a contractor go, this stinks. Okay, right? John goes back, makes an adjustment to his margins, goes to market. His square price went up, boop, right? So he made an adjustment. Because why? The cost of nails went up. I don't know, something happened somewhere in the metals. Who knows? So good. Financing is now added to your business. And let's pick a stupid number, 5%. Financing is a product because it's built into the roof project, the system, because it's the way that you're going to get it paid. So if you take the assumption that financing is a product and it's in your tool belt and you put it into the roof system and it costs 5% and you take your retail pricing across the board from $10,000 today on a shingle roof, and on Monday I'm offering financing, it's now $10,500, and then you go to market. And the only products and programs that you offer off of a lender's matrix is 5% and under. So now I'm a contractor that offers finance solutions. I've got 5 programs. They're all 5% dealer fee and under. And I don't care if my customer is cash, credit card, or payment. Why? It doesn't matter. If he's cash, it's $10,500. If it's credit card, it's 10.5. It's financing, it's 10.5. If the loan costs 5%, I net 10. If they swipe a credit card, I net 10.2 because it probably costs 3% for a swipe. And if they paid cash, it's 10.5. And they made an extra 5% on the job because I built 5% in across the board.
All right, let me push back a little bit. Because
Please.
I do exactly what you're saying.
Yep.
For our process. We have good, better, best on all of our roofs. Like I said, it's our average ticket is not 10,000. It's around double that.
So use that as a factoring.
No, I got it. It's an easy number to do math on for an illustration like this. However, the dollars actually are different from the dealer fee. So this is what I hear. I understand this. The way we do it is that we have everything priced the same way you just said. We have the average dealer fee built into the price.
Yep.
And then we have a cash discount if they want to pay cash.
Yep.
And that's how we do it. The number's large. The cash discount number is large. So it's typically over $1,000 for the dealer fee for that job.
Correct.
That's what I would say would be a really big hurdle for a lot of people listening to this. Is like, they're going to listen to you say, you said 5%, Chris, you said $10,000, Chris. This is not realistic for my business because we have everything's higher than that.
Right.
So from what is offered today that we're recording this in November, 2023, what's the average dealer fee? There's some laws around this. You can't charge for financing. You can't add you can't have a line item.
Correct. Break it out, right? Yeah.
Correct. So what's the average dealer fee in most programs that you offer? Do you have an idea what that is? Because I'm thinking about for my own business, how much do I need to add in on average for all those types of buyers?
Yep.
Is it 5%? Is it, I mean, this does matter. This does actually matter because I have a lot of customers who see a number initially, don't look at the proposal. We talked in our mastermind on Wednesday. We had this exact discussion, and in other conversations this week, where even though the new buyer really loves this like process that a lot of contractors have, where it's online and they're getting to buy everything online, and like they're not reading our proposals.
Yep.
And we're trying to take them through the proposal. They're not paying attention, and so they'll see a number. If it's 9% higher. If you got a $20,000 roof and it's 9%, that's what your cash price is, and then it's 9% higher than that. They see the number, they don't even think about the financing part, and they're like, "You're 9% higher than everybody else. We're not going with you." So that's a challenge that we've had to overcome because we've built it in. Even though there's a cash discount right there that they could choose, they don't read it. It's really, really difficult when you build it in on the front end. So we have success still. We have a good process, but there is a lot of people.
Yeah, let's break it down. Let's see if we can make it
see the number, and they're like, why are you X number of dollars higher? And it's usually thousands. Why are you this much higher than everybody else? And it's a lot because we're usually the high. In general, we've always been one of the highest contractors as far as pricing goes. So then we add and then we add another dealer fee on top. I have no problem with high ticket items at all, but help me and help other contractors have the best process for realistic numbers, because maybe I'm at 20 grand for my average ticket. Maybe other people are at 15 grand, but it's not 10. If they're 10, then listen to this, then just close your doors today. Cause it's not going to happen. You better be higher than 10,000 for your average ticket. Cause it's just, you're not adding enough profit into your roofs. I don't care if you've got 15 square roofs.
Yep.
So anyway,
before you get into your process, can you just explain what you said about the fee, that you can and cannot use certain language?
The legal part. Yeah. Just breeze over that part so that people understand about the line.
Because that comes up a lot. And obviously that's important how you phrase that, because we can't say finance charge or certain terms we can't use. Is that correct?
That's why it's super imperative when I said cash equals credit, and that is what it is. So cash equals credit. And to John's point, if he's marketing a cash discount up front, that throws that all out the window because they're going to see that there's a cash price and a finance price.
Yep.
So I would sell a payment instead. I can't disclose the legal because I'm not an attorney, but I'll just say that money costs money. You have to pick the programs that you're comfortable with for your market, what your competitors are selling, and you have to build it into your price at the point of sale. So if a consumer says, I'm looking to buy a roof, And you can say, great, it's $21,000. How are you looking to pay? And they say, cash. Great, I'll take it. Do you give a cash discount? Yeah, I can knock $1,000 off if you give me 3 referrals and a yard sign for 90 days. Sound fair? Yes, let's do it. Cool. 20,000. I gave a cash discount. I earned the job. Everyone's happy. It was a negotiation. I got 3 referrals, I got 90 days, and I gave them $1,000 off. Why? Because I built in X percentage. Now, customer hands you credit card. Take credit card? Sure, Amex. Boom. Now you're like, great. 3%. Sweet. I'm covered because I built in cash equals credit. They take a program that costs 5%. I don't care. It's already built in. So by offering cash equals credit, with all due respect, from the greatest man in this industry that taught me this industry and the greatest attorney ever in history, cash equals credit. End of discussion. So, but I want to go back to your point, John. Dave, to your point, you can't have a line item, and it's some federal law. And I'm sure many people don't get sued on it because it's not really a big deal, because people can add a finance charge with a credit card. They call it a processing fee or something like that. You can go to a gas station, they got a cash price and a credit price. So I don't think anyone's going to jail for it. However, having a line item that specifically says dealer fee or merchant fee is not allowed by the lenders. They say they have it in their contract to say price has to be all inclusive. So it's just a legal thing. But I'm not an attorney, so I can't speak to the laws, the federal laws on it. But anyway, I can kind of try to make it simple. And I don't want to get too, if anybody wants to connect me, we can do a one-on-one off of this publicly. So to your point, if I'm selling a 15-year program, and a 15-year program is going to always be what? A lower payment, right? Because it's stretched out, right? If I did a 7-year, the payment would increase. Make sense? Longer term mortgage payment lower. 15-year mortgage payment double. Cool. And if I use a 15-year program and it's a 0 dealer fee, sweet. And if I sell a 10-year program and it has a 3% dealer fee, okay, cool. And if I sell a no interest, no pay program that costs 6%, 6%. So I have a 6, I have a 3, and I have a 0. You want a 0 cost average, your weighted average with that by adding those numbers and dividing. So there's your mean, right? What's that, 4.5?
Yep.
Okay, so I added 5% across the board. And I'm spitballing right now. Here's the cool thing that we never think about. Ready? This is such a good podcast, you guys. This is like high level stuff. I love this. So John, your sales guys are so excited about your new finance program. And they know each and every time they're going to present financing that they're going to present the 15-year program first, because 80% out of 100 deals, 80% of them just say yes to the $224 a month, your $20,000 job, because they're pumped. They don't have to spend 20. They're super psyched that it's $224 and there's no prepayment penalties. So they say yes. 80% of your jobs close with a no dealer fee program, and you built 5 in. So you make 5%, 80% on 80 jobs across. At the end of the year, you go, holy cow, we made 5% extra on 80% of our jobs. Okay. 10% say, I don't want a 15-year. I'm going to sell this house in 5 years. I'll take the 10. Ooh, big deal. 3% dealer fee plus 2. You made an extra 2% on 10 of the jobs. And then these other ones over here, that's a 6. Remember, we built 5 in, so we're actually -1 on 10 of the jobs throughout the year was a no interest, no pay. A 6-month or a 9-month or something like that, right? Sure. So if your sales pros present a monthly payment option 15-year first, and 80% of the people say yes because they're just so stoked at the low payment, winner, chicken dinner. It's 5% extra on 80. If they object and you ask them, well, what's the objection? I just don't want 15 years. I want a shorter period. Okay, cool. We go to a 10 plus 2, still winning. And then the other ones are like, look, I don't want to pay interest at all. I got an insurance check coming in. I got a bonus coming in. My taxes are coming in. We're just going to make a lump sum payment in a couple months. That's 5, -1 for 10. 0 cost average at the end of the year out of the 100 deals, winner. And then this one -1. If you did the average on this, give it to your guy, he'll go, holy cow, our 0 cost averaging, we made X amount extra because we built a 5% margin to cover finance solutions. Plus, you don't have to worry about your 3% swipe fee with credit cards because you're +2 on those as well. That's 0 cost averaging.
Okay. So when we're selling a job, John says you're going out, and John on your proposal, I think you're talking about cash price and finance price. When you go to buy a car, the prices never even come up. I mean, you don't know you can't figure out what the hell a car costs because they're always talking about your payment. So what do you think is the best practice for selling a residential roof? Are you leading with financing? Are you talking about that like you're selling a car? Or how do you go about it? And like in John's case, he sells a lot of deals, never even sees the guy. How would you put that in your proposal when perhaps you don't have an opportunity to talk with the customer?
Present the option.
Does that make sense? But are you going in originally and immediately talking about payments, or that's a secondary?
Well, I'll answer, and then John will answer because John's the one with a fantastic company. Present the option. Promotional, low monthly payment option, check cash. All the same. Let them choose. None of the options were no.
John, what do you think?
Yeah, so we have it built into our proposal to show the financing fee right away. We need to be better, though. Truthfully, we need to be better because we are talking about large ticket items when we present, and we need to be talking about monthly payment options more. Because one thing that I know to be true is that we have a question on our pre-qualification questions is, what's important to you? Great quality or lowest price? And either one of those buyers has no idea how much the roof costs. They think they do, and they don't. So they're always shocked now. Everyone's always shocked because they'll say, my neighbor got their roof 3 years ago and it wasn't anywhere, and my house is the same size. Why is it this much money now? So we truthfully need a better process, and we're going to work on that actually starting this month to train. This is a slow season for us, so we're going to start training for the next year and really work on that the payment options, as opposed to saying this is $21,000, this is $24,000, this is $35,000. So we're just going to be better about it.
Yeah, to Dave's point, Dave, it's so funny that you talk about the truck. I did a video the other day, and right here in my driveway, I was outside. It was gorgeous out. I took my whiteboard out there, and I did it in front of my GMC 2500 HD Z71, and I wrote $97,345.26. And I started off saying, could you imagine if you went to an auto dealer and they came back and you're like, oh my God, I want to buy that truck. And the sales guy came back and he's like, great, it's $97,000. You just sit there with pregnant pause. To your point, we buy these vehicles and we don't think anything of it. We finance it. We buy, you ready for this? We buy these things and we finance them, and we never stop financing. When was the last time you paid cash for your Apple phone? You don't. You send them a monthly payment somewhere, some Mint or some Verizon or T-Mobile. Like, we finance these. I think this probably costs like what, $2,000 or $1,500? Nobody buys them cash. We finance them and pay monthly. So we got home improvements. Home improvements are an anomaly that we're going to pay cash for. Okay, like, they're expensive, man. I've got stats. Oh, there's some great stats. HIRI. Google that organization that has unbelievable stats on home improvement. I'm part of the Harvard Joint Studies for Remodeling. Unbelievable reports and stats there. If you want to go see who's leveraging money to get home improvements, go there. Now, John, let's go back to your point.
First, Chris, I just want to mention something. I saw that video. That's why I stole that line from you about the truck, because I did a little prep here for our talk. So anyway, yeah, that was great.
I appreciate it, man. I got some TikTok out there that 277,000 people have wasted their life watching. I don't know why, but it's growing every day. So
it's worth a look. I think it was well done, and you got to check that out.
John, there's a guy in New Jersey that doesn't do any of this. He doesn't do any of this. Ready? This guy's not. He goes on the weekend, he goes and rides motocross with his kids, and he enjoys life. He's the highest priced roofer in New Jersey. His margins are unbelievable. And here's what he offers. Are you ready? A 2.99% 15-year and a 72-month, no interest, no pay, equal payments. Equal pay. His dealer fees are like 23%. And we're talking about 5, baby. You know why? Because he doesn't care. His margins are where his margins are. He's got a profitable business. He's got a business that he controls. He picks his customers. He provides a 2.99% fixed interest for 15 years that is beating Wall Street because his clienteles are like 2.99% fixed. Let's go. They don't care what the price of the roof is because that's a 2.99% interest rate. It's like a 76 payment factor on $10,000. For every 10,000, $76. It's like ridiculous. But he's found his niche, and his profit margins are amazing because this is what he takes to the market. He finances everything, and he builds it. He builds it. Now he's an anomaly. Not many people can do that.
Makes sense.
They call me the village idiot in high school, but so I'm kind of lost on these numbers. But as a contractor, I buy into the fact that I'm going to sell more deals now if I offer financing. I can see that. My next question is, how does this affect my margin on the job? Am I taking a cut? I mean, am I losing money? Is it better for me to sell? Am I making money off of financing myself? Like certainly car companies, dealerships. I mean, they make a fortune on selling financing. How does that affect my gross profit on the job? Well, my profit on the jobs.
It doesn't. You're going to sell more jobs. You're going to help more customers. You get more referrals. You're going to get happier customers because you're providing a painless payment option. They're going to buy more. Your ticket prices are going to go up. And let's roll back to what we said. You're going to take 0, 3, and 6, divide it in half of 3, it's 4.5. You're going to build a 5% margin. And John, let me just do it simple math because I don't know who's watching this. So let's be simple. Today, you sell a $10,000 shingle roof and it goes on a barn. There we go. You happy, John?
Sure.
Doghouse.
You put a $10,000 shingle roof on the garage out back. Okay. On Monday, you're going to offer 2 programs off of a finance menu. One of them is 0 dealer fee and one of them is 5. Your new price, and I'm rounding the numbers, there's rounding errors, there's a proper way to do this, but let's just stay. Your new price when you show up to Mrs. Smith on Monday for that roof is $10,500. If she buys the program that costs 5%, you're going to get your 10 grand. The bank's going to get their 5. She slides a credit card, you're going to make an extra 2. You're going to give that 3% merchant credit card process to whomever takes that from you. If she gives you cash, you made an extra $500.
Yep.
Doesn't affect your margins at all because you're building in financing into the total cost of your business, just like you would if you got a price increase from one of your supply houses on nails.
Yep, makes sense.
John, do you take credit cards?
We do.
For a re-roof, $20,000 deal?
Sure.
Okay. A lot of contractors, say, I'll take it up to $1,000 or something, and that's it. So,
well, we build in the fee though.
Right. Okay.
So there's no cost to us from that. So we're adding 3.5%. They want to do it, they can do it. We have that conversation quite a bit. Like, well, I want to get my points for my miles. Like, okay, well, you're going to pay 3.5% for it. So, and then smart people are like, okay, I'll just pay cash, or I'll just use a HELOC, or I'll just whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or I'll just use your finance option that you have, which is a 6-month no interest no pay. What would you do? Like, let's say points didn't exist. Would you do a 6-month no interest no pay, or would you use a credit card that's due next month?
Yeah, everyone would do the 6 month. Everyone.
So, that's what, the argument is, well, I don't want to offer dealer fees. Cool. How about 3% under? Because 3 is, yep. Are you getting beat on them? Yeah, we are. Cool. Pick 6 programs that are 3% under, shut everything else off, call it a day. Get used to financing, watch how much more you'll sell, and then you'll get better at this, and then pretty soon you'll be selling hybrid programs. Like, I could get really complicated today, but I wanted to keep this basic. You could sell all sorts of programs in different cool ways. Like, John, this 12-month, no interest, no pay, same as cash, interest doesn't accrue. Year 2 converts to a 799 10-year.
Yeah, that's that. You posted a while ago, and I was like, that's sweet.
With the sound effects, your savvy consumers are going, wait a minute, what? I can get an unsecured home improvement loan lower than today's mortgage interest rates?
Yeah.
And I don't have to pay for a year? Yeah, I'll take that. Now, that cost, the cost on that is a lot higher than 5, but it's a savvy finance tool to sell more jobs in your marketplace and make your customers happier.
Okay. So Chris, I'm listening to this show going, okay, I'm buying into this. What do I do? And the one other question I've got, does it cost me as the contractor to set this up? Is there a setup fee to get hooked up with financing? Number 1. Number 2, you're going to set me up with this, I assume. And are you going to show my guys? Are we going to build a process for us? Do you go through this with us? And what do I need to do to make this simple? Because I'm kind of following you, but I believe in it. I'm sold. What do I do?
Right. There is no cost to get set up. And if whether you come to me or someone else, again, I'd love to do business with you. But if you choose to work with a competitor, that's fine. Please offer finance. Let's get that off the table. If your finance company asks you for money to offer their finance program, run and call me.
Because they do, don't they? I thought that there was a setup fee, and
No.
show you what little I know.
There's probably, let's say, 10 of us that are worth doing business with. We're all legitimate. We're lenders. We've been in this area a long time. There's no cost to set up financing in your business whatsoever. Okay. Number two, once you're enrolled with me, we do things methodically and programmatically. So we will set up your portal. That's your CRM. It's just a little thing so you can fund your deals. It's not like the great CRM that John's got. It's just the thing that houses your deals, right? We set that up for you. We set up your mobile apps and each one of your sales reps can present at the point of sale. We can give you a link that you can put on your website or on your CRM so they can click and apply. So your technology is taken care of. Your portal is taken care of. We're going to train your back office on how to get stuff funded, which is clicking a button. We're going to train your sales staff how to present at the point of sale. And then after everyone's happy at that point, we're going to support your marketing efforts. We're going to teach how to market it, advertise it, and then we're going to support you and maintain you from there. So system, enroll, set up, go to market, sales, management. Boom, boom, boom. 5 simple steps for success.
How do I get paid? How do I get my money?
Go sell jobs and click a green button.
So I'm getting paid quickly?
When John sells a job on Monday, installs on a Wednesday, he's getting paid by Friday.
Is that right, John?
24 hours, 36 hours to hit his bank account via ACH once he funds a job. Cool thing with us is this. We're like, and I don't want to speak for all the lenders out there because they're different. I'll just speak to what we do. When John's ready to fund a job, he goes to his portal and says, pay me. Sends a text message to the customer. Customer says yes. 24 hours later, ACH money should be in John's account. Customer ignores the text, ignores the emails. We're paying John in 48 hours. I don't need a COC. I don't need a final permit. I don't need a PTO. I don't need paperwork. I don't need a contract. It's a paperless process. There's no tax returns. There's no proof of X, Y, and Z. It's all text, click, yes, paid. Now, other lenders are different. I cannot speak to them, but that's how easy we are.
Now, do you have your own program, or are you a broker? Or tell me about your business.
Sure. I'm the director of business development with a company called Upgrade. We're out of California, Montreal, and our home improvement division's in Atlanta, but we're national. We have I think our funding numbers around 29 billion since 2017 in many different assets. So there's home improvement, there's personal loan, there's auto now, there's many different divisions at Upgrade, but I can only speak to the home improvement division that I'm the director of business development over here.
You mentioned just in passing about commercial, that you do some commercial financing. That was my business. So is this just straight?
I'm talking 100% residential today.
Okay. So residential. So there is no.
I have some sources because I spent 5 years in commercial financing. So
Got it.
I've got some great relationships that I get the calls all day. Hey, Chris, I got a $30,000 commercial project. It's a gas station. Can you help me? No, the commercial projects that we look at, and I refer over 358 North, the 55 million, Simon Malls and stuff like that. I can't do much with the smaller commercial under 300,000. There's not much I could do there. However, I do tell people that I've got a division up in New Jersey that might be able to help them, and I refer them up there. And then I also will talk to the contractor and say, hey, have you talked to any smaller credit unions local to the business? Because they're such a great source, because those credit unions want the relationship with the business guy, and they've got some pretty interesting things that credit unions can do for commercial. So I always have the conversation to tell a contractor, look, go to your backyard, develop some relationships with local small banks and get the money there, man. Like, develop some relationships. People don't like, what happened to BNI, man? Go and network and shake someone's freaking hand.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't help. I just refer out for that. We don't do that at Upgrade.
All right. So, John, wrapping up, what do you got for us? What questions, what can our listeners take from this before we get into the steps and getting hooked up with Chris?
I just think this is a good reminder for myself, for my business, and all of our listeners that this Chris really broke down processes that you need to be following and mindsets of how you need to be selling moving forward. I just think it's good. It's good for me to always hear from Chris, and I saw the video on the truck too. It was great. And it's a good perspective for what we should be looking at and how we should be looking at selling roofs moving forward. It's not changing. I mean, Dimitri made a video, 8 to 10% increase in January. It doesn't matter how you skin that cat. It's going to be more expensive over time, and every year is going to get more and more expensive. Roofing prices don't decrease. So we need to be becoming experts in Chris's field. And I have a lot of respect for you, Chris. I do think you're like the Tim Brown in the financing space for contractor.
Oh, don't insult him like that, man. Come on.
So, but I
Tim.
think that I enrolled this week.
Hey, Tim.
I know. He'll probably make a joke, a meme about this now. So I'm excited. We enrolled this week. We already have a great option that we use, but we're excited about having multiple options and then doing business.
Can we talk about that just real quick? I know we could go on hours.
I love it.
Everybody, this isn't about greed. I am all about protecting the most important people here, and it's your customer. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. By no means am I asking anybody to give me 100% of their business. I'm the first person that will say, use multiple lenders, and here's the reason why. I've been in this industry a long time, and I want to protect your business. I want to protect your consumers, and I want you to stay in business and have unbelievable profit margins and have great sales teams that can put food on their table. With that being said, I'm not asking for 100% of your business. What I am asking for is, if you are interested in this, let's do business together. Put me next to who you're using now. Test it out. Fall in love with it. See if you hate it. If you hate it, who cares? Go test somebody else out until you find a couple lenders that make sense for your business. Because not all businesses are created equal. If you're in Louisiana, Southern Louisiana, I might not be able to fund a lot of your deals, but I know a lender that might. You may need to work with a prime lender and a second look lender that buys deep, 600 credit score, and us. We get the prime stuff, they get the 600 stuff. So I'm not here to take all your business. I'm here to say, hey, we've got this thing, match it up to what you're doing now, test it, see how it works, and then we can do business together. But do work with multiple lenders. Don't put all your eggs in one lender's basket, because, man, if something happened to that lender and they had all your pipeline, you expected them to pay you on installed jobs and they couldn't, that is a horrible situation. I saw it happen in COVID. I saw it happen in the PACE world, property assessed clean energy in California and Florida. Don't do it. Use multiple lenders. Call me and ask me how to do that, and I'll get you straight away on that.
Well, what you said about benefiting the customer, I think that's so important, because some people have a negative view of financing, is that it's a car, hawking cars and sleazy and so forth. But I think you're right, is that the customer's going to be, it's a benefit to the customer. They're going to be happier.
To your point, there's no money to be made on home improvement financing. The margin's this big. Mm-hmm. There's no lending officer that's making money on your money. No home improvement guys come in your house to make money on the money and the money. That money doesn't exist in home improvement. It's tissue. It's thin. It's basis points. It's like 10 basis points of margin on these things. It's not like, I'm going to go to the auto dealership and the auto F&I guy is going to make 3.5 points on the deal. We're in a total new economic space right now where the margins are paper. So anyway.
Well, Chris, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, you are awesome. You're a real pro on this. Definitely, I think people should get in touch with you. At least even if you're just considering it, obviously they should talk with you. I think I saw your video on LinkedIn and just kind of seeing what you were up to and so forth. But what are some other ways that our listeners can get in touch with you and learn more about what your service is?
So on the Facebook, I believe it's Chris Scoville or Christopher Scoville. Pretty simple. If it's a website, just use my name, ChristopherScoville.com.
Okay. Simple as
I
that.
mean, or a smoke signal. I mean, all you gotta do is actually go into a roofing group and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
anybody know who I said call for financing?" You'll find me.
Yep. It's
That's
true.
awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're around and you speak a lot to the groups and really benefit a lot of the contractors. So I really appreciate you coming on today. And John, always great to see you. And we will keep in touch. I think it's a great program. Listeners, check it out. Thanks, Chris.
Bye, guys. Thank you.